That is weird. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here, talking about the Rock Hall once again for something that no one really cares about. We sure do talk about it quite a bit. But the inductees are out today. There was a list of 14 nominees this year, and half of them got in and half of them did not. And no one's ever happy with what gets in, and no one's ever happy with what gets left out. Looking at these two groups of like the ones that are getting in and the ones that are not, I mean, it's a coin toss. Like if you told me the ones that didn't get in got in, I'd be like, all right, that looks like a legitimate list. So I don't know what the rhyme and reason is. Really, some head scratchers on both sides, I think.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, you said it. Like if Tribe Called Quest, Iron Maiden, Joy Division, New Order, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, Stripes, and Warren Zevon got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you would say, okay, that sounds totally legit. Like there's no reason to doubt any of those names on those lists. Like that perfectly normal. And yet those are the bands that did not get in. Those are the artists that were shut out for Kate Bush, Rage Against the Machine, Missy Elliott, Sheryl Crow, George Michael, and the Spinners. And honestly, if I was like weighing the two, I think the ones that didn't get in probably hold a little bit more weight, probably have sold more albums too. Like this is a weird one on the surface. I mean, those are the bands that didn't get in. They're all critically acclaimed. They all sold a bajillion records. You know, Warren Zevon's kind of a legend in his sphere. Iron Maiden's a legend in the metal sphere. Tribe Called Quest, one of the most, you know, huge, tons of accolades for them. Cyndi Lauper sort of was, one of the figureheads of the pop movement in the 80s. Soundgarden basically invented grunge. White Stripes were incredibly popular in the 2000s. I mean, New Order is like, how is New Order not in for how much people talk about them? And then you have bands like Kate Bush is probably like the only like tip off. Like if you gave me those two lists, I'd be like, okay, well, Kate Bush just was huge thanks to Stranger Things. She's back. There's no way they would snub her again. So I would probably think like the list with Kate Bush on it would be the ones getting in, but everyone else, like it's really a coin flip between those two groups. And it's weird that the ones that did get in did and didn't get in didn't. Like Sheryl Crow, really?
Sheryl Crow to me is the biggest head scratcher, I think. I mean, I like a handful of Sheryl Crow's hits, and some of her albums are pretty good, but that's it. She's pretty good. Like she's got a nice greatest hits that you could throw on, some good album cuts, but Hall of Fame, like, why?
I mean, she was on my top 10 maybe for 1998, but again, this is supposed to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like this is the best of the best, the creme de la creme. And I just don't think she's earned it. Like you can say Missy Elliott, one of the first like big female rappers. Her production, she was integral in that whole like late 90s, early 2000s scene. Like I can see that, even if I'm not the biggest Missy Elliott fan. Like I think she has like the game changing sort of resume. Like what did Sheryl Crow do other than like kind of blend in and like that 90s, singer songwriter kind of like I mean, she just completely is like this anonymous figure. I mean, George Michael, Wham, huge solo star. The Spinners, classic, 70s. Rage Against the Machine sort of had like their own, they kind of invented rap rock. So if you hate rap rock, at least they have that going for them. Kate Bush, decades and decades of kind of like being a critical darling and doing her own thing. And there's Sheryl Crow just thrown randomly in there. I mean, put New Order, put Cyndi Lauper in ahead of Sheryl Crow. I don't understand how that's How Sheryl Crow got in before Cyndi Lauper seems odd when Lauper was sort of a trailblazer for her sound. Yeah, Sheryl Crow is such a head scratcher. Zero sound.
I mean, you might as well throw in Sarah McLachlan and Joel and Meredith Brooks and every female singer-songwriter if Sheryl Crow is going to go in. I'm not really sure. That doesn't make any sense to me. We're just at the point where if you had a hit, you're in the running and you might somehow get in by accident.
Eventually, all these bands are going to get in. Like, there's no way they're going to keep out Zevon forever. Like, Iron Maiden's going to get in. Like, they're one of the most influential, important metal bands. They could go to South America and sell out a 200,000, seat soccer stadium or whatever. They're still hugely popular. New Order and Joy Division, all you indie weirdos love them. They're going to get in. I assume Soundgarden will get in. The White Stripes are going to get in because they're one of the few rock bands that matters in the 2000s. And I would assume A Tribe Called Quest gets in at some point too. So they're all going to get in. It's just the order in which they're being let in doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
If you made music in the 20th century, eventually you'll get in. And just wait your turn.
Yeah, there's not a lot left to get in, and for every class that gets in, they're going to have to put in at least one boomer band to satisfy. They're going to be one rap artist to satisfy that crowd. There'll be one sort of newer rock, so the White Stripes, and I'm sure the Strokes will get in eventually, and bands like that, just to satisfy the different clans of music lover that are left, because it's looking pretty grim once we get past the 2000s bands.
We discussed a while ago, probably last year when the nominees coming out, starting our own Hall of Fame and having patrons nominate and then us kind of figure out who gets in. So maybe we'll finally get around to doing that, because I think pretty much anyone could do a better job than what this has devolved into over the years. So it is what it is. Let us know what you think of this year's inductees and this year's snubs and all those still waiting to get in. Who out there deserves it more than these 7? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.